All right, AI government contractors. We're here again with another Tuesday session. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. Let's see who is in the house. If you are in the house, just let me know who you are. I see Gil. Good evening, Gil. Welcome. Welcome. You are really early. I'm worried that if I try to pronounce this, I might bite my tongue. All I see there is YCNOTLLCO5. Good evening, everyone from Toledo. Good evening. Great to have you, man. Oh, Amber. Hello, Amber. Hi, Am. Sean. Sean, I see you. I see you here, Sean. All right. Guys, today, just like every other Tuesday session, one thing that I believe is that for you to be doing well in any form of business, whether it's government contracting, whether it's recruitment, whether it's drop shipping, you need to constantly be having the conversation about the thing that you do. So you can pick out ideas from other people who are doing the same thing that you are doing, and you can apply that to your method, to your process. So we come here on Tuesdays to talk about government contracts with AI and talk about the different ways that we can use artificial intelligence tools to improve our procurement process. And the more you have the conversation, the more the process sticks, the better you are able to apply what you are learning. And that's the importance of these lives. So guys, you can purchase the book if you want. You can join the inner circle if you want. You can go ahead and learn how to use the AI tools by yourself if you want. But the only admonition I'll give you, the only request I would have is be around people who are doing the thing that you are doing so you can trade off ideas so it doesn't feel lonely. And let me tell you why I'm starting this live stream talking about this, talking about creating associations with people who are doing what you're doing. The reason I'm bringing this up is because after talking to hundreds of business owners in the United States who aspire to win government contracts, one thing that I have found is that most people have fears that do not exist. What does that mean? Fears that do not exist. I was talking to a business owner who owns a couple of daycares in Houston, and she also owns a financial literacy company, and she was hoping to win government contracts. She was hoping to win government contracts. Hello, is the audio better? She was hoping to win government contracts. Now, the issue that she was having was that she didn't have this insurance that she was talking about. She kept saying that she needed insurance. But when we went through the solicitation together, we found that the insurance that she claimed that she needed was not even in the solicitation, it wasn't even part of the job. Okay, let me know if the audio is better now. I just adjusted the microphone. Let me know how the audio is going. Is the audio any better? All right. Okay. Perfect. So, what I was saying, this business owner thought that she needed a certain type of insurance. Come to find out that the solicitation didn't talk about the insurance or any sort of insurance. One thing that you need to understand here is you don't want to start creating situations that do not exist because the process already has a lot of requirements. So you don't want to add to the requirements. Focus on what is in the solicitation. And one of the best ways to get all the information from the solicitation is with artificial intelligence tools. Whether you like it or not, they're here to stay. It's either you find a way to use these tools to your advantage or allow the people who are already using them to continue to destroy you in the marketplace. It's your choice. What I am going to do today is
I'm going to show you how you can use some of these artificial intelligence tools, some techniques and some strategies to help you break down solicitation, to help you find possible subcontractors, and the scariest of it all, to put together a proposal that you can actually submit to a contracting officer that you can be confident in. Guys, by my time right now, it's 7:28. I'm going to display the slides, and we're going to start at 7:30 Eastern Standard on the dot. First, I wish to talk about why most small businesses struggle with government contracts. Now, I don't know if you are aware or if you heard recently, but the Biden and Harris administration awarded a record breaking, a jaw dropping $178 billion in federal procurement opportunities to small businesses. This idea that, oh, there's nothing for me. Oh, I'm not going to there are no resources allocated to me. $178 billion was allocated to small businesses. And from my recollection, owning a business in the United States does not have a high barrier to entry. It's not regulated to the creme de la creme, people with 2 to 3 degrees or a master's degree. So, in order for you to start bidding on these contracts, in order for you to have some kind of access to this 178 billion, you need a business. So, new data from the Small Business Administration shows agencies awarded an all-time high of 28.4% of eligible federal contract dollars to small businesses, not to the creme de la creme of businesses, not to the top business owners, not to the most educated, not to the people with a certain last name. And again, the barrier to entry to have a business in the United States is not high. So, my question then to you is, why aren't you eating a piece of the pie? Oh, let me guess. It's because you have to write those proposals, right? Those proposals are really long and it's really challenging for you to get around it. But guys, don't say that the allocation is not there. Don't say that the resources are not available. It's just your time to stretch and get it. And if stretching involves using artificial intelligence tools to put together a proposal in less than 2 hours to have access to millions of dollars for your company, then I think it's time for us to stretch. If what I'm saying is making sense, just throw in a stretch in the chat. Stretch. Well, guys, this is where the problems begin. Yes, the allocation is there, the money is there, we know, yes, okay, cool. But this is where we begin to run into problems. And the problems are related to things like breaking down solicitations. It's no mystery to anybody who has attempted to go through a government solicitation that the language in the solicitation is very complex and convoluted. And in order for you to pursue the contract, you're going to really want to understand what's in the contract. So the question then becomes, how do I take this language that's really complicated, really technical, break it down into something that I could easily understand so I can communicate it intelligently to my partners? Then there are problems related to finding those partners, finding subcontractors. On one end, you don't want to be desperate in the game where you've only spoken to one subcontract. In fact, let me tell you how it goes sometimes. I'm talking to someone and they're like, yeah, the subcontractor I'm talking to is actually one of my great friends from high school. We go way back. We go way back. Yeah, such a good friend, man. Like when we're in high school, he always had my back. I'm like, okay, good. So has he given you the quote? Oh yeah, he said he's going to get it to me by next week, because it's really challenging for him to get me the correct quote, but he's my really good friend from high school. This is not going to work. This is not going to be sustainable long term. You need a system, a process that would help you create a list of subcontractors that you can begin to call, email, contact to get a price. So you have problems related to finding subcontractors and then problems related to writing proposals that get noticed. I remember when I started the YouTube channel and I started talking to some of the business owners who had actually won government contracts. And one of the things that I noticed from the contracts that kept on winning was that it had a standard form in the sense that it was well formatted. On a visual level, it looked good. On a readable level, it was straight to the point, it was concise, and it was clear. The issue is creating that kind of document, one that is clear, that is concise, that is well formatted with the content that aligns with the problems in the solicitation. Positioning your company as the one that has the ability to fix the problem, to solve the problem. So, if you want to write proposals like this that are formatted and have great content, you have a couple of options. One, you can join our school community, our free school community. You can also join our inner circle. And if you're the kind of person who believes that, you know what, I need one on one time, you want us to start you off from scratch. And when I say start you off from scratch, I mean you want us to get you registered on SAM, guide you through the registration on SAM, get you to select your industries, the cage code, teach you how to break down the solicitations, find the subcontractors, and give you that one-on-one access. Just reach out to me in the school group, and we'll talk about that. But you have all these options into getting into using AI tools to do better in government contracting. Okay, most businesses struggle with paper and administrative work, but this is how you can stop. Okay. One thing that I want to let you know right now, if this is your first time on the live stream, if this is your first time watching the AI GovCon channel, we do things differently here. And it is my belief that in 2024, there is no reason, and I repeat, no reason with all caps for you to have problems with administrative work, like putting together a report, putting together a proposal. This should not be the problem in the business. This is the easy part. So, whatever fear that you have about putting proposals together, making them sound accurate, you should drop them now, because towards the ending of this video, you're going to see that you can actually begin the process of putting together a proposal by yourself, and it will be high quality. Number one, you want to use ChatGPT to break down solicitations. You don't only want to use ChatGPT to break down solicitations, but you want to be able to break down those solicitations in a systematic way. In a systematic way. And not only is this method systematic, but it is repeatable. It is repeatable. It's systematic and repeatable. Why do you want it to be systematic and repeatable? Are these just words that I'm throwing out there to sound cool? Well, if you're thinking about running your business for the long term without getting burnt out, then you want to use a method that is systematic and repeatable and easy to execute. So when it comes to breaking down lengthy government solicitations that are 60 pages long, 30 pages long, you can break it down in a systematic manner that keeps you in the green, so you can do this for the long term. But also, you want to use Google, ChatGPT, and Perplexity AI to create a pool of subcontractors. I always tell my inner circle members, you need to take up the frame of a researcher. I know the term that's commonly used now is middleman, But truly, I'm really focused on creating a proposal that tells the contracting officer, one, I know the problems that you're experiencing. Two, I have all the resources needed to help you solve that problem. Three, I am the right person for the job. You want to be able to create documents that give that information to the contracting officer. But you must take up the frame of a researcher to get the information that can create that document. I hope I'm tracking. When you are a researcher, that means that you want to reach out to multiple subs to find out what the industry standard price is. And that tells you what is going to be going into the contracting officer's table as potential bids. So if you keep hearing 30,000, 35, 32, 34, you kind of know where the market price is. And then you can begin to place your profit on top, depending on what your pricing strategy is, what that industry is all about. But you're going to have to use your discretion at that point. But in order for you to have a pool, a large pool to prevent desperation, you want to be able to use this AI tools to search up companies that could possibly do the work. And by the way, you can use ChatGPT and government contracting without tears to write proposals. Let me make a quick announcement, okay? This book, this ebook, Government Contracting Without Tears, is not a novel that you sit down and read and enjoy. It's actually quite boring if you try to read it like a novel because it just gives you instructions. Okay, it's an instruction guide that tells you, okay, you want to break down the solicitation, this is the prompt to use. Oh, you're having difficulty with your industry, okay, do this to find a better industry. So this is not a novel. If you get the book and you notice that it's not 450 pages long, don't be disappointed. It's an instruction manual that you should follow. Okay, guys, I'm done with all the talking. I'm going to show you how we're going to break down the solicitation in a systematic way and find potential subcontractors for the job, as well as create some industry keywords to search up on SAM.gov. But guys, let's go into my screen. Hello? Is the sound still? Oh my God. No sound. Okay, is the sound back? Now we're back. Wow, so I guess I've been talking for a while, and I was actually getting really passionate too. So nobody heard what I was saying. Hello, hello. Since 7:41, so I spoke for 5 minutes with no sound. Okay, that's fantastic. No problem, no problem. I'm going to put that same passion back in. But what I was saying was I was talking about being able to break down solicitations in a systematic way. And the way you want to start. Now, the first thing I said was, I really like this particular contract. Why? There's some things that stood out to me when I saw it. I want to make sure everyone is still hearing. Okay, good. There are some things that stood out to me when I saw it. Number one, the description is really short, it's just one sentence, and it says this is a new requirement to provide medical waste services. Fantastic. We only have three solicitations. So at this point, I've downloaded the three, sorry, not three solicitations, but three attachments. I've downloaded the three attachments and I have now placed them here in ChatGPT. If you've been watching the channel for any length of time, you would realize that we've been able to put 7 documents into ChatGPT. So the capacity is there. Now that we have these 3 documents, again, the goal here is to be able to break down solicitations in a systematic manner. Now, that systematic manner or that system has to be repeatable and easy to execute. And to start, the beginner friendly solicitation breakdown guide is your best start. In the inner circle, we do use prompts that are a bit better engineered to give you more information. But if you're looking to start breaking down solicitations to have a feel of what that's like in a way that is systematic and is repeatable and is sustainable over a long period of time, this is where you start. As you can see, we have put 3 attachments in here. The next thing I'm going to do is grab the prompts. Yellow is the prompt, orange is the purpose of the prompt. Okay, so the way I structured this is the initial prompts are going to give us a high level, and then as we continue the prompting system, it gives us more detail. So this first prompt says provide the title, the agency, and summary of the solicitation. After this prompt, this is the kind of prompts that you could read or you could read the result of this prompt and immediately decide, you know what, I don't like this solicitation. It's not something I'm going to do, and move on to the next. Speed is the name of the game here, right? You want to be able to make a decision quickly and say, I don't know if this is for me or is this actually for me. The title here is Medical Waste Services. It's for the Department of Veteran Affairs. And it says that the solicitation is a request for quotation for medical waste services at various locations, set aside exclusively for service disabled veteran owned small business concerns. The contractor is required to provide all labor, supervision, management, transportation, equipment, materials, certification, and training necessary to collect, transport, and properly dispose of regulated medical waste from specified locations within the Central Alabama Veteran Health Care. So that first prompt, again, high level. Now we want to go a little bit deeper. We want to find out, what's this really about? What are those key requirements and the scope? This second prompt says, what are the eligibility requirements, the key deliverables, and objectives of this contract? This prompt is engineered to produce more details about the work. So, what makes you eligible for a contract like this? Well, first of all, it's set aside for service disabled veteran owned small businesses. So you got that right there. And to be considered for the award, prospective offers must be registered and active on in the system of award management. That's a no-brainer. Guys, so far, if you're tracking on how to break down a solicitation in a systematic way, can I just see a one in the chat? Okay, so I see a question here. What if you have more than 7 documents? Well, listen, if you have more than 7 documents, I think ChatGPT can actually take up to 10 documents, first of all. But typically, what you want to do is you don't want to break down all the not all the documents in there are going to require you to put them into ChatGPT. What do I mean? Check this out. In most solicitations, you're going to find a document labeled WD. WD. And the WD stands for wage determination. Now, if you see a wage determination document, you don't need to break it down. Wage determination documents are often the same on multiple solicitations. So sometimes you might see 7 attachments there, but it doesn't mean that you have to put all of them into ChatGPT and break them down. And this is why I highly recommend that you break down solicitations often for fun. When you have 10 minutes, break it down with the beginner friendly solicitation breakdown guide and just find out, like, what does the government want? I remember I was breaking down a solicitation where they needed food for a prison. There were about 200 items on the list. Sometimes, like, I don't know, maybe you're like me, maybe you're not, but I like to read these things just because it's interesting. My grocery bill is about $190, $220, depending on how and that's like bi-weekly. Then when I see that the government needs about $90,000 for groceries, for me, that's interesting. So breaking down the solicitations should be a thing that you do often using ChatGPT. So you get used to the system, you get acquainted with it. Because guys, this is a skill. I'm not like this is the only government contracting channel where you're going to learn a particular skill that can grow with you over time. So let's get back into the breakdown. Let's get back into the breakdown. Okay. So key deliverables. The contractor is required to furnish all labor, supervision, management, transportation, equipment, materials, certification, and training necessary to complete and compliant disposal of regulated medical waste. Okay, so the service includes the collection, the transportation, and the proper disposal of medical waste by incineration incineration. That word always gives me a twist. Adhering to all applicable federal, state, and local laws and regulations. So specific deliverables include the provision of disposable permits, transporter licenses, and a list of landfills where treated waste is transported, all to be provided within 30 days after service commencement or upon renewal during the contract period. Guys, this is very specific information here. And this is something that you're going to want to set aside in your Google Doc and make sure that you're communicating this. One, if you own the company, then you're going to understand how all of this works. But if this is an industry that you're not very familiar with and you are reaching out to subcontractors, these are where you're going to want to create your questions. Using ChatGPT is to give you the tools to go out there and find people who can do the work properly, communicate intelligently to them to show them that, yes, you really understand the scope of work, and to also give them documents that are very professional to make your entire communication process with them so smooth that they know that you're the person that they want to partner with. So when you have this information, the conversation becomes easier because you know what to talk about. What are the objectives of this contract? Well, the primary objective of the contract is to manage the disposal of regulated medical waste from the Central Alabama Veterans Healthcare System effectively and safely, minimizing risk to public health and the environment. Okay, cool. The contractor must ensure that all activities meet the compliance requirements of various health and safety standards set by the entities like the Environmental Protection Agency, the Occupational Health and Safety Administration, the Centers of Disease and Control Prevention, and the Alabama Department of Environmental Management. Okay, guys, Look, these objectives, yes, they want you to be compliant. You're going to see this all the time. The primary objective is to manage disposal of the regulated medical waste. Great. You're building the vocabulary, you're understanding the contracts, but it's also important for you to understand what is required for you to submit a bid, right? We're already getting an idea of the details, but this prompt is engineered to give you an outline of what needs to be submitted, including the proposal format. Now, just throw a one in the chat if you've ever wondered, what should my proposal look like? Throw a one in the chat if you've ever wondered, what should my proposal look like? Oh, I forgot to hide this. A lot of questions usually come in regarding how the proposal should be formatted. Like, what should this look like? Do I just put it together with the quote from the subcontractor? Do I have to write an executive summary? I've read emails from people saying, Godwin, why do you keep telling people to write executive summaries? Like, I don't get it. Why do you keep going on with the executive summary? And it's just my style. I think that it's best that we start the document off talking about who I am as a company, how I intend to fulfill the project, and also to show you that I actually know what you have, all the problems that you have, and I'm ready to solve them. That is what I like to communicate in the executive summary. Some people think it's a waste of time, but guys, what I know is that when I use artificial intelligence tools, I have the ability to experiment without getting tired. You heard me right. I have the ability to experiment without getting tired. So if I see that the executive summary is something that maybe I want to remove, I have the ability to remove it and replace it with something else. AI gives you flexibility when other people are stuck. When other people are stuck and you're like, oh man, I don't know how to structure this contract. I don't know how to structure this proposal. You can go into an artificial intelligence tool and say, hey, ChatGPT, can you please give me a draft of what a proposal will look like for this contract? And guess what happens? You begin to have ideas. Artificial intelligence tools gives you that first step. Okay, guys, let's get back to the breakdown. But if you're still tracking with me, just throw a one in the chat. Let's get back to the breakdown. What we have here is proposal, format, and delivery. So the proposal must be prepared in accordance to the format specified in the solicitation document. This typically includes adherence to specific sections such as technical proposal, pricing, and administrative. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT, what did the solicitation I attached say about the proposal format? Okay, so the proposal for the solicitation was reformatted and delivered as follows. So the offer quote should be on the company letterhead, including the name, the address, phone number, and the offer, along with offer UEI and ORCA documents from SAM. Okay, so representations assert a completed copy of FRR offer representation and subcontractor plan, price, cost, technical capability. Now, in a situation like this, I can always ask ChatGPT to tell me what types of companies can do this job. This is where we move on to subcontractor identification. Now, okay, let me show you something here. And I like that this happened. It says, when I asked it what type of companies can do the job, it said that the solicitation is set aside exclusively for service disabled veterans. Now, this is not the result I wanted. This is actually a problem. What I wanted was a list of the types of companies that can do the work. So, how do I fix a problem like this when I come face to face with it? Well, I can tell ChatGPT exactly what I want. Well, I want to know the types of companies that can do this work and not the set aside. Can you find 5 companies in the area that may qualify? Now, the 3 ingredients to a good prompt are specificity, context, and can anybody remind me of the last one? There is specificity, there is context. If you can remember the last one, I'm checking the chat right now. Specificity, context, and I believe it starts with a C. Nobody? So everybody here is a first timer. Man, tough, but beautiful. Sean, yes, that's it. Clarity. Hey, Sean, DM me in the school community, because for getting this, you're going to get a prize. Hands down. Just DM me in the school community, and I'm going to let you know what your prize is. Okay, so specificity, clarity is 2S is SSC. So what we're doing here right now is let's look at this carefully. Let's look at this very carefully. Now, what we're seeing here is here are the 5 companies that are possibly able to do the job. Now, specializes in a wide range of waste management services, including regulated medical waste, pharmaceutical waste, and hazardous waste. They're also known for their environmentally sound and cost-effective solution. Now, let's check this out. They left some links to the companies. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes these links are not going to work. Like what we see here now is it looks like, is this a directory? Veteranownedbusinesses.com. So essentially, we're having it takes us to a directory of veteran owned businesses, but not really in waste management. So these are some of the things that we want to watch out for. For example, this first one didn't work out, but we can also go in and Google. Now, there's some things that I want you to be very cautious about, in the sense that you don't want to think that this entire process, because you're using AI, is just going to be extremely smooth with no roadblocks or no obstacles. The obstacles will arise, but you have the ability to overcome them because of the tools that you have and the skills that you build as you continue to use these AI tools. So I'm going to say list 5 more companies different from what you have above. We can also begin a Perplexity AI search. One thing that I want you to know is the reason I show you all these tools is because you're better off with a few options. You're better off with a few options. And when it comes to having options, you want to make sure that you have a system that gives you those options. And those are the systems I like to show you in these videos. A process that you could follow that is easy to execute and repeatable. So let's see. Let's see what we have here. Oh, total waste solutions. Now, I'm just going to pretend like this is the company. I've spoken to a couple of these guys. They understand the task. They have the capacity to do the work. And now I want to begin to put together a kind of technical statement for a proposal. Now, I'm jumping a few steps here, but if I told ChatGPT, create a technical statement or create a draft of a technical statement for this proposal. I am a middleman looking to bid on this contract with my partner, and I'm going to just throw in the link of the website. Now, I'm going to let you know that we will not be referring to my partner by name, but we would include them as a team. Okay? Now, let's see what happens. So it's crafting the technical statement. And I forgot to tell you the name of my company. So typically, if I added in there the name of my company is Godwin Golf Card, for instance, this name is going to be put in here. But let's see what it says. I'm actually going to say the name of the company. The name of the company is Godwin Golf Con. And now it's preparing the technical. But this is what it reads. It says, let's just pretend Godwin GovCon is pleased to submit this proposal in response to a solicitation for providing comprehensive medical waste services as a service disabled veteran owned business. We are committed to facilitating superior waste management solutions that comply with all federal, state, and local regulations. Guys, this is fine. This is okay. But there's a prompt that I created, and I don't know if anybody has used it. I would like you to tell me if you have. But if you use this prompt, you see that it completely eliminates the AI language that people always talk about. And it's really interesting because the way I created the prompt was actually using the Army's SOP for writing. Like I talk to Carlos all the time, who's one of business partner, great in the inner circle. And I'm sure if you're in the school community, you've seen that Carlos just keeps winning contracts. And see, I forgot what I was talking about, just bragging about the man. But let me see this. We talked about creating this prompt that allows us to remove this AI language. And Carlos talks about the bluff method, right? Bottom line up front. And this prompt is engineered to kind of create that. Take note of how this reads right now. Godwin GovCon is honored to submit this proposal for solicitation number aimed at providing comprehensive medical waste as a service disabled veteran owned small business. We are dedicated to delivering superior waste management solutions to adhere to all federal, state, and local regulations. Our proposal is blustered by a strategic partnership with a distinguished SDVOSB certified provider of medical waste disposal services, referred to herein as our team. Okay, let's see what this prompt does to it. I'm going to say rewrite the technical statement with this prompt. Oh no, rewrite this technical following following these instructions. And I'm just going to paste the instructions below, and ChatGPT is going to do its thing. But guys, let's take note of how the reading changes. Godwin GovCon, a committed service disabled veteran owned business, submits this proposal to manage and execute services under solicitation. There is the number. We propose a collaboration with an established SDVOSB certified medical waste disposal partner, hereinafter referred to as team. Technical approach. Our strategy ensures the efficient and safe handling of all medical waste types, leveraging cutting edge technology and processes. We are equipped to manage sharp regulated waste, pharmaceuticals, and hazardous materials in compliance with stringent federal and local standards. Guys, I want you to tell me if you see a difference in the wording. Just let me know in the chat. Do you see a difference? If you see a difference, let me know. But let me see what's going on in the chat. Let's see. Okay, I see Tony Thompson. You said, since I started to watch you, I have been using ChatGPT to get used to talking to an AI, and it gets used to me. Yeah. Oh, by the way, that's a good one. With ChatGPT, the more you talk to it, you're actually training it. So as you train it to talk, it you train it to how you like it to respond to you. So I don't know if you've ever done this before, where you you put in a request into ChatGPT and it gave you two different responses. The one you pick, ChatGPT the indication that it should continue to respond to you in that way. It means that you like that response. But guys, I've really given you what I had for you today. But again, because you joined the live stream this Tuesday, I have a special offer for you. The inner circle, as you already know, cost $197 a month. But for the next 5 minutes, it's going to be $125 a month for anybody who wants to join. So, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to be taking questions, ask me questions, but I'm going to throw in the link to the inner circle at 125 for the next 5 minutes. So, if you're interested in joining the inner circle, the link has been dropped in the chat. And what do you get in the inner circle? Inner circle. I mean, you can just use ChatGPT by yourself. You don't need to join the inner circle for any reason, but you might be asking, what do I get if I join it? Is it any different? Well, this is what I would show you. With the inner circle, you're going to get a few things. The first thing is you're going to get a full classroom section that breaks down the process that I talk about in my YouTube channel twice, 3 times a week. How to select your industry, how to break down those keywords. We have step by step videos to allow you to begin to break down your own keywords, for you to begin to break down solicitations, find subcontractors, write proposals. We also have calls every Wednesday where you are able to come in and ask questions, and we're just more responsive to the people in our group here at the inner circle. So if you're interested in joining the inner circle at $125 a month, the link is now here, and this is going to be going on for 5 minutes. And if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. I'm looking forward to answering. All right, guys. Right. So I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. So I'm going to believe that most of the people are pretty clear on what it means to break down solicitations with AI and how to use AI tools to really improve your procurement process. Now, if you've joined our school community, you see that many people are winning contracts using proposals. And the truth is that I can't wait to hear your story. Please feel free to DM me when you've pulled in your first contract using artificial intelligence tools to write it. And look, the real secret is just learn how to use the AI and keep bidding, keep throwing those bids. So, Clay, I see you're asking if in the book it has the chat GPT wordings. So it does. It really, what you see in the book is the engineered prompts that you just need to follow the steps, step by step, like from selecting your industry. Essentially, the book is a documented version of what you see me doing on the YouTube channel. So if you are not able to follow along on a video, the book is going to give you that very specific, like step by step with the prompts. So it's an instruction guide. You have the exact prompts there. I hope that answers your questions. Can you hear me?